Hi everyone, my name is Melissa. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be reviewing a 2017 recently published novel by Danzy Senna called New People. So Danzy is an American author, and from what I've seen of her work, she's done some work in writing, but quite a bit of work being doing critical essays and being an activist on race issues. It was a book that I read on my Kindle, so that's for another review, the debate between ebooks and real books. I am going to start by sharing with you a little bit about, what's New People about? And from the jacket cover, she summarizes it like this. As the 20th century draws to a close, Maria is at the start of a life she never thought possible. She and Khalil, her college sweetheart, are planning their wedding. They are the perfect couple, king and queen of the racially nebulous prom. Their skin is the same shade of beige. They live together in a black bohemian enclave in Brooklyn, where Khalil is riding the wave of the first dot-com boom and Maria is plugging away her dissertation on the Jonestown massacre. They've even landed a starring role in a documentary about new people, like them, who are blurring the old boundaries as a brave new era dawns. Everything Maria knows she should want lies before her. Yet she can't stop daydreaming about another man. A poet she barely knows. As fantasy escalates to fixation, it dredges up secrets from the past and threatens to unravel not only Maria's perfect new life, but her very persona. So it is a very contemporary set novel. You get the feeling that it is dealing with new people issues. There is discussion about being mulatto, mixed race couple, and that brings out the themes of race, African identity, and meaningfulness, a sense of accomplishment and what you can do with yourself. This brings me on to the structure. Maria is the main character. The world is told from her point of view. She is debating with a couple issues with her mother. And it's interesting how many of these race-related issues go back to parenthood and that ancestry or that identity of who we were or who we were struggling to be. She's also in the process of doing her dissertation, her PhD, and it's interesting because I think that's where it fell apart for me a little bit. I've done a PhD. You have no time to be as psychotic as this character is when you're doing one. The language is very simple. It's, of course, as I was saying, structure is first-person narration. There is no going back and forward in time. She does have flashbacks about her past that helps contextualize who she is, but maybe not why she behaves the way she does, not entirely. The language is really easy. Some people have said on online reviews that it's really easy to read this author. She progresses really nicely. You could keep going. For people who do like a little bit more, sassiness to writing, it can get a bit boring. And you find yourself at some point skipping over a couple sentences to kind of get on with it, because you can get on with it. What I take away from this book is that Maria is quite a character. It's hard to piece her together as being the same person in each chapter. She does have a bit of a psychotic problem. My favorite quote for this novel is when she breaks into someone's apartment, and this is what happens. She hopes he doesn't have a child. She doubts it. A snow globe with Paris inside. She shakes it, smiles, as she watches the flakes fall around the Eiffel Tower. She runs his brush through her hair, pleased by the sight of the strands she leaves behind, not removing them. She goes to the bathroom, sits down, and pees in the darkness, decides not to flush. She brushes her teeth with his toothbrush, minus the paste, then rinses it off and puts it back in the holder. Okay, she doesn't flush the toilet, but she rinses his toothbrush. Okay, so that was the most quirky thing that stood out to me, and maybe a reason why I'm going to lock my doors all the time now. As much as this character is contemporary and the race issues that she deals with, it's not a novel that I really gelled with. It got 1 out of 5 stars for me, which is unfortunately my lowest ranking. It's not a book that I may pick up again, or really highly recommend to someone who wanted a bit more comprehensive story. The reason for this, I have a good reason, is that there are so many different ways to deal with race-related issues, and Maria seems to be a protagonist who is very, nonchalant about it. She's very undecided, and that psychoticness maybe could have been fleshed out into having a bit more meaningful message. But that's it for me. So make sure hit like if you like this video, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I'd love to review something that you're maybe reading as well. Thanks, guys. Bye.